Hey friends, my name is Julie.
I'm Daryl.
And welcome back to our farm. Recently we posted a video showing you the first round of lambs we've had here on the farm this year. And since then we've had 11 more born. So we're gonna introduce you to all of those today. Now if you watched our last video about our girl Betty, who we had to treat for a prolapse, you got a sneak peek at this little guy. She actually had a set of twins, and this is her little boy. This is Ferris. And the little girl is Farah. Ferris here is our first all-white lamb, which is what you might expect would be predominant in our flock, since we technically have a flock of Katahdin sheep here. But obviously there are some other genetics worked in. None of my sheep are registered. I don't have papers. I just look for good, healthy stock that thrive in my area. And of course, all the different colors make for a lot of fun when you're breeding. But I am a sucker for an adorable classic white lamb. And Ferris here is a pretty handsome guy. All right, I'm gonna give him back to his mama. He's a good boy. And this pretty little girl is Farah, the other half of Betty's set of twins. And she is almost all white, but she has this little brownish black spot on her back. And then she's also starting to get a little bit of brown on her neck. And sometimes they develop quite a bit of color later on in life. So we'll have to keep an eye on this little girl. She is very sweet and cuddly, aren't you? Yeah, you're a good girl. I think she's really gonna be beautiful. She's really long and lanky. I had to assist in birthing her just a little bit. She had one of her front legs tucked as she tried to exit the birth canal, so I just had to reach in and straighten that leg up, and then she came out just fine. But a little bit of stress early on. I wasn't sure how she was doing at first, but she perked right up and started nursing pretty quickly, so she's a tough little girl. Yeah, okay, we'll go see Mama. Girl.
Betty.
There you go.
Good girl.
You're so beautiful, baby. And speaking of our last video, I was really bummed to find out that YouTube frowns upon that kind of thing, and that video is actually demonetized. And the revenue we get from YouTube is pretty nominal. It's not why I do this channel. I do this because I want to educate people on how to take care of their animals better and how to be more successful small farmers. And I thought that that experience was something important to share with people, and that maybe I had some knowledge that isn't commonly found, and that could help some people in a jam in the future. And I'd really like to continue making those videos, but with all the time and effort that goes into producing them, it's really a bummer when YouTube comes back and says, oh, sorry, you're not gonna make any money on that. So this has really pushed me to do something that I've been thinking about for a while, and that is to set up an account with Patreon. And you're probably familiar with this. It's just a way for people to support creators and for us to offer a little more access and a little more behind the scenes views of what we do here. So I'll be putting a link in the description of all the videos from now on. You can check it out. Some of the things we'll be offering are monthly live Q&As with Daryl and I to answer all of your most pertinent questions. And at the higher levels, we'll be offering some one-on-one consulting for those that are serious about getting started in farming. So I just wanted to let you know about that and why we're going that direction. All right, back to adorable lambs.
This guy here is Fletcher. He's Angie's baby. Angie is a 5-year-old ewe and is Betty's sister. And she had Fletcher here one day after Betty had hers. Hi. He's small but feisty. Oh, yes, you're good. All right.
So right around New Year's, we had a bunch of new lambs come all at once, including this adorable pair of twins. I think they look like little reindeer. And their mom is Doris. And despite having a D name, she was actually one of our very first ewes we had on this farm. And she almost always gives us twins, and this year she gave us both a boy and a girl. And I've named them Faye and Fabian. When we have twins, I like to give them similar sounding names so I remember that they're a pair of twins. And these guys have been doing great. They're actually, I haven't picked them up in about a week, and they are huge. They are growing awesome. Doris is loud and pretty friendly.
Fearless.
Yeah. She's definitely one of the foundation ewes of this whole herd. One of our best girls. You're such a good mama. Yeah. Doris is pretty beautiful, but these are definitely the most colorful babies she's ever had. Hey Ferdinand, you trying to steal some milk? What you doing, buddy? Look how big Ferdinand is already. Growing like a weed. Who you got there, Daryl?
So this is Foxy, and her mother is Blanche Devereaux, who is right behind you.
She's this pretty white girl.
She was fun to try to catch. Blanche is not one of our friendliest ewes, and she likes to run around, so it took me a minute to catch her. She's a unique red color, which we've had a couple red lambs and red sheep on our farm before, but it's been a couple years. So it's nice to see that color come back to the herd. She is definitely a keeper. You want to go back to your mama?
Foxy. You got this cute little dot on your head. Yeah.
Oh, how are you?
Here you go, Blanche. You're a good mama.
All right. Fancy. You're a hard one to catch.
Probably our prettiest lamb this year is little Miss Fancy here. And she's the daughter of Barbara. So if you watched my experimental sheep grazing video a while back, Barbara was the one that was acting weird the whole time they were out on pasture. Well, it turned out nothing was wrong with her, and she had an absolutely perfect delivery and gave us this beautiful girl. She looks like a little Guernsey cow if you've seen the coloring on them. She's got this beautiful reddish brown color, and I have no idea where these colors came from. We don't have anybody else in the flock that looks remotely like this, so I'm super excited to see the kind of variety that we're getting. Fancy's got a big voice too. Let's give you back to Mama. There you go, Barbara. So Barbara and Blanche came from the same farm. Every year we get a handful of ewe lambs from a fellow farmer nearby. And that's actually where a lot of the color in this flock came from. And I suspect her sheep had a little bit of Dorper blood, but they're really nice big-bodied ewes, and they've been a great addition to this flock. The next lamb to come was this beautiful little white girl, and her name is Faith. She was pretty hard to catch too. Her mom is Abigail, and she is a gorgeous ewe. Here she comes. I would also classify her as the sketchiest sheep. In the past, when we've tried to catch her, she's just leaped over these fences like a deer. She's kind of an amazing athlete, and she's gorgeous. And I'm really glad that she's a breeding member of our flock. But but I would really rather sheep that I can handle instead of ones that are crazy like her. But she does continue to give us these beautiful little girls. This is the third little ewe lamb in a row that she's given us. So pretty happy with her performance in the flock. Really can't complain about Abigail too much. And we're hoping Faith will be another good replacement breeder ewe in the future. All right, Mama. I'll give you her back. Don't freak out. She won't even get close, see? She's so sketchy. There you go. But she's big and beautiful. Woo! So the sheep are giving us a run for our money today, trying to catch these guys. We finally caught this chunk of a lamb. His name is Flynn, and his mom is Belle. And despite Belle being one of our most petite little ewes, I think this guy had the biggest birth weight this year of any of the lambs. And he looks like he is much older than he is. He's actually one of the youngest, and he is just ginormous. He just came out fat. And I think he's super handsome. He's all white. He's just gorgeous. Yeah, he's such a handsome guy. And you see, he's pretty chill. I often find him just kind of mingling among the herd, playing with other lambs. He's not really like attached to his mom's hip like a lot of the other lambs. He's a little more independent. And probably because he's a big guy, so he fits in with the older lambs a little bit better. Yeah, he's a good boy.
We'll go find Belle now and give him back to her, even though it doesn't look like he cares.
Oh, he's strong.
Oh,
Here she is. Here she is. See how small she is? But you can also see why I named her Belle. She's just gorgeous. She's got one of the prettiest faces in the whole herd. She's a pretty girl. Good mama. Yeah, you and your baby are much more chill. Belle was born on this farm, so she's a lot more used to us than some of the other sheep.
so this little guy is Fleming, and his mom is this ewe here that we call Dalmatian. Her actual name is Bee, for Bea Arthur. Another golden girl for those that you remember. Now this little guy has these floppy ears. Most of our lambs, their ears are a lot perkier. So he's easy to pick out because of those floppy ears. He also has a narrow pointed nose that gives him kind of an interesting profile from the side. Dalmatian's last year's lamb wound up being one of the largest lamb we've ever raised on the farm. And we're hoping the same for this little guy. Here you go, Bubba. He was also the hardest to catch. I think it took a half hour. You're welcome. Hi.
And the youngest lamb on the farm right now is this beautiful little girl. Her name is Felicity. She is from Darcy, who... She's from Darcy, who you can hear screaming behind me. She's a good mama, obviously. Come here, honey. Come here. She's right here. It's okay. See? All right. And she's yet another of these beautiful brownish gray lambs that we're having this year. They just look like little reindeer or caribou. They're so pretty. And I've been making a point to pick this little girl up every day, and so she's gonna be my little cuddle buddy for the season. She seemed like she got a little bit of a slow start in life, so I was trying to give her a little bit extra attention. But she is spunky now. She's always running and jumping, kicking her heels up. She's a good little girl. All right, let's give her back to your mama. Darcy. Yeah. There you go. There you go.
I'm right here, Mama.
You're okay.
Sorry.
It's a good girl. Darcy's actually one of my friendliest ewes. Her and I have a good relationship. She's so pretty. Yeah, Mama, I'm sorry. So that's where we are so far. Now we have 17 on the ground. We've got 8 females and 9 males. So even though we started with all boys in the very beginning, things have evened out over time. And we've actually got plenty more pregnant ewes left in this flock. So as those babies come, I'll be sure to introduce you to all of them. And thank you so much for all your name suggestions. It's been really helpful, as you can imagine, with having so many babies to give names to. If you want to check out all the videos for this year's lambing season, I'm going to put together a playlist, and you can check that out right here. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.